Good day, everyone. My name is Dr. Eahp Babudu. I'm the First Lady of Kebbi State, Nigeria, the founder of the Medicaid Cancer Foundation, as well as a second-term board member of the Union for International Cancer Control. My foundation, the Medicaid Cancer Foundation, has been in existence working mostly in the northern parts of Nigeria for over 13 years, creating awareness, supporting cancer patients, raising funds for treatment, and involved in high-level advocacy to create better policies for cancer control in the country. The UICC, on the other hand, is a global body that seeks to unite the cancer community to have better cancer outcomes for patients and those that are affected by cancer. It does this through convening, advocacy, and capacity building. The UICC has over 1,200 members spread over 170 countries of the world. As the First Lady of Kebbi State, we've been able to raise the bar in the areas of awareness and education by having outreaches and community programs that seek to educate the people, not just the patients and rural dwellers themselves, but also the community gatekeepers such as the traditional and religious rulers. We work with the state governments to improve the state's policy, aside from helping them to develop a state cancer control plan which was fully costed. We've also partnered with them to create access programs to chemotherapy, partnering with major pharmaceuticals so that the oncology medication is procured by the state government, subsidized heavily, and made much easier for patients to access. Because of course, once you create awareness and you tell them the medication exists, they tell you they cannot afford it. And where do they go for these medicines? So we had to expand our activities to include that type of advocacy. We've also been able to improve the facilities that exist in the state governments, in the state capital. But there's still a lot to be done. These facilities are only available in the state capital and stop at the level of providing chemotherapy and surgery. There is no radiotherapy center currently in the whole zone of Nigeria, the whole northwest zone of Nigeria, that is fully functional. What are we talking about today? We're talking about cancer, asking ourselves if it is a war that we just might win. A lot of observers have picked a problem with the word war or even fight against cancer, particularly when it comes to the patients themselves. If we take the subject matter from a perspective of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities that exist, and then the threats. So what are the strengths? In the last decade or so, there has been a lot of improvement in access to medication. Although still not enough, it is way higher than what used to obtain. There's also been a lot of programs, both by overseas development partners, as well as national governments and civil society. A lot of cancer control programs have been in place, particularly ones that focus on awareness, such as the ones that we do in the foundation. The weaknesses, some of which I have mentioned, include disparities that exist at many levels of the society. Income is not equal, and not all cancer patients have access to the modern advances in cancer treatments like the radiotherapy machines that we're supposed to have at least 300 in a country of 260 million like Nigeria, but the only functional ones are less than 5. Also, with the advancement of treatments, even if these facilities are available and the chemotherapy is available, the specialists, that is the human resource for healthcare that is required to deliver this adequately to the patients, does not always exist. The few that are available are now being consumed by brain drain to higher income countries, all in search of a better life. Despite the great improvements in the treatment of cancer in the last 30 years, many of the low-middle income countries are yet to see or benefit from the advances that obtain in high-income countries. such as telescopic medicine, laparoscopic surgeries, and so on, and even the new generation oncology medications that have less side effects. There are many opportunities that also we can talk about. The number one is the progress in cancer treatment outcomes, which has taken a step forward with the introduction of personalized medicine and the increased development in targeted therapy. Although for this to be successful, cancer has to be diagnosed at a very early stage. Looking at the war against cancer, we can look at it from a perspective of what are the strengths, what are the threats, what are the opportunities that exist, and what are the limitations. The strengths are very obvious. Over the last couple of years, and even further, there has been an enormous amount of increase in the access that patients have to cancer medication in different countries. Governments now engage in cancer control programs that form formidable partnerships with the pharmaceutical bodies and allow better access to chemotherapy in particular. Aside from this, there are many civil societies such as ours, the Medicaid Cancer Foundation, and indeed many others in Nigeria and beyond that are working to increase awareness and educate people so that this can positively influence their health-seeking behaviors. Finally, the threat to winning the war against cancer lies in the socio-economic landscape of low-middle-income countries, and particularly in Africa. Cultural barriers, superstitious beliefs, wrong ideologies that are often termed religion are big threats to the people, and also it affects the way that treatment is delivered. In high-income countries, the outcomes of cancer are usually 5-year survival rate of breast cancer is in the region of 95%. But for us, it is nearer 5%. And this is solely because of the advanced stage at which most cancers are diagnosed, including breast cancer. For these reasons, we need to focus on the low-hanging fruits that are available to us, top of which is awareness and education. We also need to advocate for better policies and push for the government to introduce what is available and what can be easily obtained. For instance, the human papillomavirus vaccine is still not widely available in most African countries. It is not in Nigeria, and our girls are being denied the opportunity to live a life free of cervical cancer. If indeed the WHO targets of 2030 and eliminating cervical cancer are to be met, this is one aspect that we must address urgently. So to round up, yes, cancer is a war that we can win. It is not possible to have a universe without disease conditions, just as it's not possible to totally eliminate cancer. However, we can control it much better. And I hope that with increased advocacy, with increased awareness and education through events such as this, we will be able to get to the promised land. I therefore commend the Nigeria Cancer Society and the East African Health Platform for organizing this webinar. I hope that what we learned today will be beneficial to us all, and we pray for better outcomes for cancer patients in Africa